Recent reports show New Zealand is on a productivity slowdown. In most cases, technology can play a huge part in solving these problems. But it's not just buying the new technology. We need to train people in it properly. But we're not doing this. Why are we not doing this? The companies have bought the computer, but they haven't got the money left for the training. Technology expert Paul Spain joins us now. G'day, Paul.
Good morning, Duncan.
Is there much truth behind that?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, and some businesses aren't even investing in modern technology and software. So that's always a starting point. If you've got computers that are 5 or 6 years old within your organisation, then that's going to be costing you a lot more in the loss of productivity than what it would cost to have the right gear. And then once you've got that right, then you need to look at making sure people know how to use it. Looking for those sort of productivity holes where people are slowed down, and that's really key.
Well, what's the point of having all the latest fancy stuff if it does slow the company down for quite some time? I mean, it's a massive hole, isn't it?
Look, when you onboard new systems into an organisation, then there's a bit of work to get people up with a play on how to utilise it. But the latest and greatest technology, when used well, when customised, when that extra investment goes in around how to use it well, can make a huge difference to productivity.
Yeah, but simple's good though too, isn't it? I mean, it might be complicated, but if it comes out simple, like if the consumer is seeing something simple across the desk.
Yep, you do want to simplify things. Something that we advocate at Gorilla is encouraging people to document out their complex processes so that anybody can do it. That's also a real productivity gain. So you're not
write a list down.
You're not locked in just to one person that knows how to do those key things, and you demystify it, and you can put videos and all sorts of other stuff in there with your documentation.
I'm the generation that worries about which the next button I push, is that the one that's going to blow it up?
Well, that's usually not the case. And if your technology's been done right, then there should be very, very little harm that you can cause.
Is it easy? Because that is the problem. I particularly think of my parents and myself. I get a little bit overwhelmed. Are there easy courses? And often you don't want to seem like you're the dummy in front of the trainer and you go, oh, easy, But are there sort of any apps or online courses or courses you can do that are easy, simple ones that people could maybe attend or sign up to?
There today is just an unlimited amount of content, and we advocate organisations doing that internally. So they build up their own video, podcasts, training that's very specific to what their organisation does. But of course, anyone can go out and jump on YouTube. There's hordes of content there. Listen to podcasts. Anybody can step up their knowledge and their expertise just by investing a little bit of time.
It's often the language associated with this stuff, though. I mean, I have a problem with my computer, and down comes someone from IT who tell me that my interface with the PAX capacitor is causing me issues. It's like it's actually making it in a common language, saying exactly. It's like sailing lingo. Once you actually explain what it means, it's a lot simpler. And I don't think there's enough of that goes on.
Yeah, well, that's training of our people that work in IT, right? They need to be speaking the same language as those they're working with. There's no point me coming on TV or radio and talking in gobbledygook because nobody will have a clue what I'm talking about. But that happens at people's desks every day within large organisations.
I can't believe that. Did IT come and see you? Did you get them to, after what you said about them?
Yeah, a person came down here talking like a computer, but it was definitely a person.
No, don't diss our IT team. I love them.
I can't believe they even
But
responded.
actually, is it? Because I found as the system we had at TV3 initially was very simple because there wasn't much else technology, and I found that so much easier than the systems we use now, which seem more complicated. Is that fair, or is that, more? Yeah, just me. But it seems like there are more buttons we have to push and more things we have to go through. It's not being streamlined.
Yeah, that can be the case. That's again, it can be appropriate to bring in systems that are they can look a bit more complex. They've got very particular customizations and adjustments to what you do, and it's worth taking the time to learn those systems if they're overall going to make your life easier. Now, if they're not making your life easier, then understandable you might want to throw the computer out the window, right?
I wonder if companies are reluctant to invest in the next bit of technology because it's happening so quickly, so fluid, that you never know if the next bit of technology is the one that's obsolete tomorrow, and then you have to go for the next one. You don't want to make a massive investment if you're not quite sure if that is the one.
Yeah, these days we tend to advocate sort of small, continuous change rather than making too many big changes that can lead to big failures. You make lots of small changes and adjustments, and you've got that continuous improvement going on. And that tends to work well without overwhelming people.
Should staff go to their boss and say, hey, you've got to train me up properly. Do not give me this tool without the tools to do it, you know? But so staff get in their faces.
It depends what it is. It might be that person can actually jump on YouTube and learn it for themselves. I mean, these days, we don't need to necessarily go off to a big, full day classroom training course. You could actually put aside 5 or 10 minutes a day to learn the things that you don't know about.
Have you got any solutions for the work colleague who comes in the morning and accidentally switches his other work colleague's computer off, thinking he was turning his own computer off, and therefore loses 90% of the editorials that he was writing up for today's show?
Well, there are times, Mark, when fists and other things should come into play.
Yes.
I mean, I don't advocate for domestic violence, but in the workplace, it's different.
Fair game.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Duncan. I thought it was my computer.
Yes. Yeah. You did say sorry. I accept that. It wasn't. You didn't dwell on it though, did you? You didn't. You didn't seem that sort of bad about it, really, didn't
Well,
you?
you just needed to get over it and get on with the work.
I
right?
did.
There's no point dwelling on it. It had happened, and you had to deal with it.
Yes. Keep your hands off my buttons.
I think
please.
you both can move on.
Okay. We're still friends. Hey, Paul. Nice to see you. Thank you so much.